So our next speaker is Dr. Piyush Bansal. Of course, Srinivas will take on again, who's going to be delving into lasers in retina. And Dr. Piyush is the founder director of Bansal Vision Institute at Pune, a very dynamic vitreoretina consultant with an amazing presence and a great future. So on to you, Dr. Piyush.
Good evening, madam. Thank you. Are my slides visible?
Yeah, you have to be louder.
Are my slides visible?
Yes, sir. Can you just speak a little louder, sir? Slides are visible.
It's very clearly visible and you're very nicely audible as well. Go ahead, Piyush.
Just give me a minute because there's some problem over here as well.
I checked earlier, actually. I don't know why. Yes.
Okay, so good evening, everyone. I'll be talking about lasers in retina. First of all, I would like to extend my gratitude to Dr. Srinivas and Dr. Chitra Ramamurthy for extending the kind invitation to me to be a part of this wonderful update, wherein I have been given an opportunity to brush up with a lot of my basics as well. It's been a very long time. So to begin with the presentation, briefly delving into the history of lasers, the description of the first instance of retinal photocoagulation, albeit not with laser, dates back to 400 BC, when Socrates first described burns of the retina during a solar eclipse. Later on, German ophthalmologist Mayer Schickerwath developed the first solar photocoagulator using a carbon arc light source. Now, as we all know that laser is the acronym for light amplification by stimulated emission of radiation. Laser has some special properties, some of them being that it is nearly monochromatic. Monochromatic means that it is of single wavelength or one color of light. Laser radiation is highly directional and it is produced by a beam that is spatially narrow and has low divergence relative to other light sources. And it is highly coherent. That means every beam is thought to be in phase with another at every point. Now, briefly talking about the laser system and media, it basically has three components: the pumping system, the optical cavity, and the lasing medium. The pumping system provides the energy to the atoms of the lasing medium. This excites the atoms from a state of low energy to a high energy state. This results in amplification of the number of photons and produces the laser. The source of laser for the pumping system could be of different types, could be flash lamps, laser, electrical discharge, or chemical reactions. Another important part is the presence of a mirror on either sides of the optical cavity. The mirror on one side is 100% reflective, whereas the mirror on the opposite side is generally 90-95% reflective. This allows for the beam of photons to pass through it as laser, and the remaining is reflected back. Now, a laser tissue interaction can be of different types. The first being photothermal. Now, this includes photocoagulation. Now, what it does is there is an absorption of light by the target tissue, which causes a rise in temperature and a resulting denaturation of proteins. Typically, the argon, krypton, or diode frequency doubled Nd:YAG lasers cause this type of effect. The next one would be photoionizing, which includes photodisruption, essentially the 106 nanometer wavelength range. So this high energy light is deposited onto the target tissue, and this causes an acoustic shock wave. This disrupts the treated tissue. Essentially, the use in retina is most of a hyalotony. The Nd:YAG laser works via this mechanism. Now, the argon blue is a gas laser. The double frequency Nd:YAG laser is a solid state laser. Diode or red laser is a semiconductor laser, and we have the yellow laser, which is a 577 nanometer laser. Briefly going into the ones that are commonly used, the argon blue-green laser, the wavelength is in the blue-green spectrum. It's absorbed selectively at the RP, hemoglobin, choriocapillaries in the inner and outer retina level. The main adverse effects, however, over here are high intraocular scattering, macular damage if it's done close to the fovea, and there is a chance of Bruch membrane rupture leading to CNVM. Now, this essentially has been replaced by the green laser, which is doubled Nd:YAG laser, 532 nanometers. Now, this is highly absorbed by hemoglobin and melanin, less so by xanthophyll. The Pascal laser or a pattern scanning laser, which is a very popular laser now, is one such type of laser which incorporates multiple pattern, short pulse, extremely short duration, 532 nanometer. Navilas is a navigated laser photocoagulator. Again, it is also available with the green laser module, which is essentially having into it along